This is a CR question. It's a weakening the argument question. The ongoing hearing between a constitution bench of the Supreme Court of India on the appointment of election commissioners raises questions on the election body's functional independence. So, a constitutional bench of the Supreme Court uh, is uh, is having a hearing, and this hearing is raising one important question: the functional independence of the election commission and election commissioners. Justice K.M. Joseph noted that the chief election commissioners or CEC in the past had fairly long tenures, unlike in recent times. The Election Commission of India, or the ECI, is a multi-member body comprising a chief election commissioner or a chairman and two election commissioners. The current convention is to appoint ECs and elevate them as CEC on the basis of seniority. So you have an election commission which has many members, right? Two election. So there are three members. One of them is, all three are appointed, and one of them is made chief election commissioner. So the current convention is to appoint the election commissioners and elevate them as CEC on the basis of seniority. So the senior most of the ECs becomes the CEC. In effect, it is the appointment process for election commissioners that require scrutiny, as it is here that there is scope for personal whimsy to play a role. So who becomes CEC is subject to certain personal whims. So the argument says we need to look at the elevation of the ECs to CEC with great care. The CEC has a 6-year tenure but should demit office on attaining 65. The court has questioned the practice of appointing CECs close to that age so that they have only a brief tenure. Did you understand what the passage said? You have the election commissioners. There are three election commissioners who form the election commission. One of the members is the is elevated to the position of chief election commissioner. The chief election, the Supreme Court is listening to having this hearing. The hearing is raising important questions on the functional independence of the election commission. What is the functional independence? They are saying that the CEC is elected for a period of is appointed for a period of 6 years, but on attaining 65, they have to retire. The court has questioned the practice of appointing CECs so close to that age that the CEC often has a very brief tenure. So somebody very close to 65 is made chief election commissioner. So his tenure as chief election commissioner is very brief, and the court has questioned this practice. Got it? Now, we are supposed to weaken the court's view on the CEC's tenure. So we have to look at why this is not necessarily a bad practice. What are the advantages, or why this is not necessarily a disadvantage since. So we can look at whether it is really affecting the functional independence, whether it in any way this is actually better rather than worse for the election commission. The tenure of CECs does not undermine their independence. This will weaken, because after all they are looking at functional independence. They were looking at the important question of the functional independence of the CECs, and therefore and the election commissioner. So if you say the tenure of CEC is independent of the functional independence of the election commission, that would weaken the judges questioning this brief tenure. Even chief justices have brief tenure. Well, the whole question is the brief tenure of CEC. Whether chief justices, chief ministers, somebody else has a brief tenure does not really weaken the argument that the chief election commissioner should have a longer tenure. The member's entire tenure in EC should be considered, not just duration as CEC. If you are saying it's a functional independence, then look at, after all, it is 3-member commission. So look at their entire tenure as election commissioners rather than just the CEC. CEC is just a nominal elevation maybe. So why are you looking at that brief period? Their entire commission as election commissioners is more important. This also weakens the author's argument. Therefore, the correct answer is E. A and C. Both options mercifully have been given.